Hey everybody, it's Rider Club Radio, a podcast. I'm your host, Jeff.
And I'm Liam, and boy, the bar's low, isn't it?
Look, we got some letters about these openings. We're no longer allowed to say anything positive about this podcast, because that would be considered false advertising.
Yeah, there's one thing we can legally say is that it is for sure a podcast, objectively.
Although, unless you're listening to it on an iPod, that might not be true.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board on this.
Shit, we're gonna lose all the petty cash.
Oh no, all of our Rider Club Radio millions.
This week, we watched Kamen Rider Ex-Aid episode 43, as well as Choujin Sentai Jetman episodes 9 and 10. And, so, Liam, why don't you tell us what happened on Ex-Aid this week?
Sure. So this week on Ex-Aid, we talked about this happening last week. Everybody gets sick again, since Masamune and fucking Game Dios, they fuse together and it makes everybody sick again. So the whole world, the Game Dios virus resurges, and everybody's fucked up. They're all like, they all like relapse at the same time again.
Yeah, so retroactively it makes the whole Game Dios making everyone sick thing just to show you what Game Dios is capable of.
Yeah.
Ahead of time, so it makes sense thematically, and we were full of shit.
But you know what's really kind of pointless now is them having the Mighty Dr. Mighty
True.
Bloop.
They just needed a way to sell that on Toei.com.
Toei.com.
Whatever the fucking Tamashi web exclusive shit. That's what that is.
Tamashi, gofuckyourself.org.
That's it. .org.jp. It is an American organization, but you still have to put .jp in there.
They want to keep you from going there. It's got to be as complicated as possible.
That's the Toei way.
So Game Deus Cronus, he beats everybody up. They confront him in the park, and he just kicks everyone's ass. And he's like, "You guys can't take me on. None of you have earned the right to take me on." And they're like, "What are you talking about, Dan Masamune?" And he says, "You have to beat Kamen Rider Chronicle to take me on, so only she can do it." And he points over at Nico, and he says, "Nico, come on, let's go to the boss level, and we're gonna fight it out." So he teleports her away, and everyone's like, "Oh God, Nico is the weakest rider by far and away. She's gonna lose."
Literally in the whole show, the only ones that are weaker are just because they're shittier at video games.
Just because the Mook riders. So he drags Nico off, and they're like, "She's not gonna last 10 seconds. What are we gonna do?" So they all go back to the pit, and they're hanging out trying to brainstorm. And Dan's like, if you just let me out, I can help you. And they're like, no, we'll figure something out. And Snipe says, just this episode, we're establishing now that the requirement to go to the boss level is you have to have every strain of game disease and conquer.
They established that before.
Did they?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't remember that at all.
They established that before when they're talking about what you have to do in order to use the Kamen Rider, Gashat,
Chronicle?
Cronus.
Right! Oh, yeah!
Yeah, were you not watching this show, Liam?
That was a while ago, okay? I forgot. I didn't think it was going to be important. So she's got every kind of game illness because she's fought every Ganma. The Gacha trophies are just like signifiers.
Did you say Ganma, you piece of shit?
I said fucking Ganma, didn't I? She's fought every bugster. The Gacha trophies are just signifiers. But Snipe has also fought every single bugster, and he also has every strain of the disease because he fought them back when they first came out. So he's got every strain of the disease. He grabs a copy of Rider Chronicle and fucks off to the boss level. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, Snipe also sucks. He's only level 50. He's not going to survive. What do we do?"
So also, they know that you become Kamen Rider Cronus or whatever, but they don't think Nico's good enough to do it, even though she's just as good at games as Emu is.
It's because she's not a main rider.
Yeah, main rider. That's what she's not.
She's not Emu. She's not the protagonist, so she can't beat him.
She's the Genius Gamer N.
The cheap knockoff.
For not appearing in this episode.
So Snipe goes to the boss dimension, and he uses Kronos, and he fights, and he loses. Kronos isn't good enough. He just keeps using the gun like an idiot instead of freezing time.
That's all I know.
Masamune is like, "You're not doing it right." So they kick each other at the same time, but Masamune's kick overpowers Snipe's kick. His kick is just better, I guess. And Snipe just loses. He falls and fucks off. And Dan says, "Look, I'll make a cheat code to get you into this stupid fucking boss level, okay? Just let me out of the cage." And they're like, "You seem trustworthy, Dan. We'll let you out. You'll make us a cheat code." So he does. He makes them a cheat code. They go to the world, and they fight Dan Masamune.
They go to the world.
They go to the world. It's fucking Helheim. It's the Helheim place.
They do go to Helheim,
and they go to Helheim and they fight the final boss. They fight fucking Masamune and they beat him. And when he falls over, he's like, "Oh, Jesus, haven't you idiots ever played a video game before? The final boss always has a second form!" And he turns into like a big monstery man. And
he does turn into a monster mash.
He turns into a big monster mash. And all of the people infected with the Bugster virus turn into his graveyard smashes. So they're all like, it's a fucking...
They all turn into turkey heads.
Yeah, there's a turkey head syndrome spreading across all of Japan, all of Tokyo. And it's a big fucking crisis, and they have to beat the final boss. So, Jeff, what did you think of Kamen Rider Ex-Aid episode 43?
It's pretty good.
Pretty good?
It's pretty good.
I can't say there was anything really wrong with it, other than the cheapness of just like, oh, here's the disease again. But I really liked the scene with Snipe. Snipe is great in this episode, and I like that he's kind of...
He got some focus.
There's a little retro.
He had his own special or whatever, so there's definitely... It would be weird if they didn't address that, I think.
There's a little, like, retroactive... like a justification of he's like, I'm the only one who needs to be the Kamen Rider. Fuck all you guys, I'll take all your Geshats. He's trying to protect them. He's already got all the Bugster virus in him. He doesn't want anyone else wrapped up in this. I know they kind of established that before, but...
He's, like, perfectly fine all the time. Shh. But whatever.
Antibodies. He's got antibodies for all of them.
He's the only one.
Mm-hmm.
And to be real, like, one man's flu is another man's fucking Black Death, so...
That's true. He's just got a really strong immune system. Guy's been eating his Wheaties. I liked that Nico almost got a cool scene, but then didn't.
Almost.
Oh, she was like this close. She was one button press away, but she didn't quite make it, unfortunately.
You know what would have been really cool?
What?
Is if, like, she transformed into Kamen Rider Cronus. And then, like, fought him.
I mean,
if she lost, that would have been fine too, but...
Yeah, I mean,
it seemed like they set this whole scene up for her. Like, her arc was, like, beating Kamen Rider Chronicle, and they set this whole thing up that made it seem like she was going to face him, finally. She was going to gain the power of Cronus, and maybe she wouldn't be good enough, and she could face up to the fact that, you know, Emu's a better video gamer than her, and she could fucking just calm down about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, Snipe just shows up and does it for her.
Yeah, I figure if... Like, obviously, she's not going to win, but if the person using Cronus is going to lose anyways, might as well just fucking make it her.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool that there was that connection to the Snipe specials, and it gave him a little bit of screen time. I appreciate that.
But you know what? I didn't watch the Snipe specials, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I saw the first one, but I didn't see
I didn't see any of them, so I know what happens in them, but I didn't see them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not, like, feverish for Kamen Rider Nico to get more screen time or whatever. It just felt like they built her up to have this scene and then just didn't have it.
It feels
it
like
was really awkward, story-wise.
She got robbed a little.
It was just like... story beat wise, it seemed like they just kind of like completely, they were like doing the lead up to the guitar solo and Wipeout, and then they just skipped it and just continued the song. Weird as fuck.
A little bit. It was a bit of a jarring scene.
Otherwise, mostly what happened in this episode is people like fighting and getting their shit wrecked.
It was one of those episodes where it's a long fight scene, like really long fight scene, and like 2 minutes of talking, and then another really long ass fight scene.
They did Onari humor in this episode.
What, with Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks at the camera real close.
It was straight up Onari humor, too, where he just did a silly face at the end of it, and that was the joke.
Yep.
I don't like that.
I know. One thing I really enjoyed is after they beat Masamune, and they're like, yes, we did it! We beat him! And Masamune's like, don't you fucking people play video games?
I thought that was hilarious.
You don't just beat the boss. He's got 2 forms.
I wanted him to say that outright. He says it in like a roundabout sort of flowery way, but I really wanted him to just be like, look, when you beat a boss, he has a second form. Have you never played a video game?
It's funny. Yeah,
it's true.
I think that could have been a funny direction for Masamune to go, is make him like more of a game dev. More of a guy who's like obsessed with tropes, like game tropes and stuff that he wants to make real.
But instead, he's evil man.
He's got to take over the world. He's got to take over the world.
I really do like this show, and this episode was pretty good. I know I'm like making jokes about him being jokey man, but it was a good episode.
It was a fine episode. It's just a lot of Kamen Rider shows have a hard time sticking their landing.
Yeah, and there's already like a little bit of wobbling in the leg.
Yeah. It's just a hard thing to end, I guess, with so much build-up. And, a lot of shows just have a hard time kind of bringing it to a conclusion in those last, like, 5-10 episodes. And Ex-Aid's stumbling a tad towards the end.
A little bit. My only real problem with this episode is how heavily it seemed to be building towards Nico transforming into Cronus and then losing.
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen.
Yeah. That would have been a little more.
Like, what the fuck was really weird.
What's she been collecting all these gacha trophies for? If not for that scene.
Nothing. I mean, she just is kind of the person who holds them, I guess.
Yeah.
If a story builds towards something, it should do that something, or it should subvert it in a way that's obvious that it's subverting it. It's not just something that they've kind of forgotten to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might have been a purposeful thing, but I just don't think it was handled very well.
It was a little bit of blue balls. I'll say that.
I really did enjoy Snipe's character in this episode, and that we finally got a little bit of resolution to his story arc. He admitted that he wants to be a doctor again, and we get that cool, like, recoding scene where he gets his coat back.
A little cheesy. Snipe ends up being a pretty well-rounded character out of this show.
Although he wore that coat for a long time.
As the I was like thinking when they were handing it to him, I was like, wait, like even at the beginning of the show, when he's unlicensed, he still wears it. So
yeah, he stopped wearing it like 10 episodes ago.
You got it.
I noticed that it like kind of jarred me because they just started an episode and he wasn't wearing it, and I was like, is it warm in that room?
It's because they had the idea for this episode, and they're like, oh shit, just take the coat off.
No one will notice. Yeah. No one is a fucking old-ass white man in America who pays way too fucking close attention to children's TV shows. He'll never know.
They are so unsuspecting over at Toei headquarters. They have no idea.
They just don't know. It was a pretty good episode, though. I'd probably go like a 7.5.
Sure. For rating numbers, like I'll put it right there with you.
I give it a 7.5. Too much water.
So much water in this episode.
Now that we've talked our piece about Ex-Aid, I think we should take a minute to take this podcast in a different direction and do something entirely different that we've never done before.
Okay, what's that?
Let's talk about some news related to Tokusatsu and Kamen Rider.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to pull one out on me.
No. Wouldn't that be funny, though, if I completely fucking derailed the podcast to talk about something else?
Let's talk about the new Yu-Gi-Oh cards or whatever the fuck.
Do you guys remember that episode of Doug where he wished he was a cowboy and it did that song called Durango Doug in it?
I hate Doug so much.
I was talking to somebody about that earlier, and I have that song stuck in my head. Durango, Durango Doug.
I've never been more bored to tears by a show when I was a kid than fucking Doug.
I was having a conversation with somebody earlier about how, like, the pendulum has swung away from Doug. Where, like, people used to be like, man, that Roger Klotz is sure an asshole to Doug. He doesn't deserve it. And nowadays people are like, man, Doug's a fuckboy. Roger should have beat the shit out of him.
Really? Go back and watch Doug. Doug is the giantest piece of shit who deserved everything bad that happened to him.
He's a good kid.
He's a kid.
He's a good kid, but he's certainly absolutely fucked up in every way, and he grew up to be a very, maladjusted human being.
Yes, if I went to school with Doug, I probably would have beat him up on the regular.
Liam, you've never beat anything up in your life.
That's true.
But he would still beat Doug up.
I'm still embarrassed about that situation with the toddler. That was rough. Still got bruises.
Look, you put your everything into it, and no one can blame you. He had a good right cross. He did.
He snuck up on me, really.
He also had that little foam hammer, so...
That was rough.
That Gashikon hammer. I brought it back around to Kamen Rider, everybody. Wow. Did you see?
Deft. That was seamless.
That's comedic craft. I thank you.
I would kill... When Gaim was out, they released inflatable weapons. I would have killed a man in cold blood for an inflatable acorn hammer, but I think they sold pretty quick. I never got my hands on one.
You mean the Ornak Bammer?
The Ornak Bammer.
Which is the real name of it?
The real, true, actual fan name of it. I like it a lot more than Don Kachi, honestly. I like the sound of Ornak Bammer.
I love it because it's so silly.
It's so silly sounding, but that's what Ornak is. He's silly.
And it fits with the Bana Spear.
The Bana Spear.
The Eric Bana Spear. That's a Hollywood movie joke.
I know about Eric Bana.
He was the Hulk.
He was the Hulk before Mark Ruffalo.
He was one of the Hulk.
He was a Hulk.
He wasn't the Hulk. He was a Hulk.
Just some garden variety Hulk.
You see those every day. Why don't you tell us some news related to Kamen Rider?
Okay, so remember how this like Ex-Aid's Movie Wars movie was not just Ex-Aid and Ghost, it was Heisei Generations?
Yes.
They're making another one of those for Build called Heisei Generations Final. It was announced just recently.
Super Heisei Generations, Ultimate, the end.
Heisei Generations 2, the next generation, and the tagline is literally like, this is the end of Heisei, because the Emperor is stepping down next year. This is going to be the final Heisei movie, so this is the Heisei Generations final.
I wonder what it's going to be now. I hope it's something I can pronounce really well.
I hope it's something that's like 17 syllables and sounds awful.
Fuck.
And that's just what we have to call Kamen Rider from here on.
Dude, you know what my favorite Japanese name is?
What?
Ruksaburo Michiba! Iron Chef Japan.
Oh, don't know who that is.
You never watched Iron Chef?
Never in my life.
Dude, you're missing out. That show is amazing.
I've heard it's very fun.
It is. I can't even describe it, really. It's like the most overdramatic cooking competition show you'll ever watch in your entire life.
I hear it's pretty crazy.
Where the cooks that are on the show are treated like they are literal gods, and these peons come to battle against them using their meager means.
That does sound pretty funny.
I think Rokusaburo Michiba is called the god of Japanese cuisine.
Really?
Even. Yeah.
The god of Japanese cuisine. That's a title I'd like to hold someday.
They call... You can't even fucking cook a sandwich.
I'm the macaroni master around this apartment, okay? Don't underestimate me.
The Iron Chef French, Hiroyuki Sakai, is called the Delacroix of French cuisine. Which I always get a kick out of. They get really ridiculous names, like the Szechuan Sage is Iron Chef Chinese.
That's so good.
You should definitely watch it. But anyway, I hope it's a short name that I can pronounce perfectly, so people will stop bullying me on the internet.
Another piece of semi-related news to Heisei Generations Final. We got a set photo of Brave fighting Kabuto. So Kabuto's going to be in it. There's going to be even more... I imagine they're going to try and shove as many Heisei riders in here as possible.
Oh yeah, they're all going to be in there.
This will be a big celebration of Heisei. But this isn't the Superhero Wars movie, it's the Movie Wars movie, I think. So
that means literally nothing to me. They'll put anything into these movies. It doesn't matter.
This means they have to outdo themselves with Superhero Wars this year and have to make it like Heisei times 2 or something.
It'll be Heisei versus Showa 2.
Heisei versus Heisei. What if they split Heisei into 2?
It's going to be Heisei versus Showa 2 even harder.
Even harder. We're going to actually pick a side this year.
The Dark World.
The upside down, inside out world. Man, fuck that movie. Holy shit.
Fucking Heisei versus Showa. I was thinking about what movie we could do another movie night with, and I thought about just doing Heisei versus Showa, but
it's a fun movie to watch with people.
Didn't we already do that?
No. I don't think we have done Heisei v Showa yet.
Okay. We might do that.
Okay.
We might do that, everybody.
So, this week, Kamen Rider Double Futo Detectives Chapter 1 released and got translated. You can read it right now.
Yeah, I didn't read it.
I'll have it in the blog post. I also tweeted about it earlier. So you can just look on there. You have multiple options to find this. It's pretty good.
I didn't read it because fucking life sucks.
You just
fuck
shit got in the way.
everything. Yeah, everything got in the way. Every time I sat down to read it, something came up.
That's being an adult, I hear. I hear it's rough.
Yeah, my job involves a lot of outside of work.
That sucks.
Yes, it does.
So,
yes, it does.
It's about a mysterious girl who claims to be a witch arriving in Futo, and she's got a memory, and no one can catch her.
Is it the witch memory?
I don't know. But she, sends you to another dimension. So, Shotaro and Philip gotta deal with her.
The mirror dimension?
No.
Memory?
Wouldn't that be cool as fuck? Can you imagine if they're like, yeah, just kidding, it's actually just a big clusterfuck of a crossover manga and nothing is going to make sense?
God, that would be amazing.
Have
it
fun.
would be the Kuga manga all over again.
Yeah. Get fucking Inoue on this.
I was reading about, there's a Jetman manga.
Is there?
And it's like a follow-up to the series, and there's like a green eagle.
That's cool.
And they drop all pretenses of the show not being Gatchaman because they have visors that show their face now.
Oh god.
So they just look like Gatchaman in another outfit.
Just being 100% honest, I appreciate it. Just lean into it. If you're gonna make Gatchaman, fuck it.
I got some spoilers from reading. I just saw that on a wiki as a link, and I clicked it, and I didn't know it was after until I read the first sentence or two, and then I was super spoiled on some shit.
Was it about a character death?
No.
Oh, a different thing.
Yeah.
I always thought there was only
about
one...
it was about what happens to characters after the show's over.
Oh, I always thought it was just the one character death that was the big spoiler in Jetman.
I don't know that.
You don't know who dies?
No.
Oh.
Although I could guess, considering whose futures I read about.
Yeah, this one character, they just never talked about what they did after the show. I wonder what was that about.
Yeah, I wonder what happened.
Probably just went on to do nothing, I guess.
I wonder what happened to him.
Sitting on a couch eating chips all day.
Anyway.
So, yeah, fucking Jetman, what was I talking about? Right, Futo Detectives Chapter 1 is out, and hopefully many, it's 60 pages, it's quite a read.
Damn.
But it's good, it's pretty cool. Nice art.
You know what's a good manga?
What?
Mega Man Mega Mix.
Oh, I love Mega Mix.
And Giga Mix, they're both fucking amazing.
They're lovely.
If you like Mega Man games, you got to pick that shit up. Even if you don't, it gave me such a deeper appreciation of those games.
Yeah.
It gives a story to them that isn't ridiculous and makes perfect sense with what happens in the games.
Yeah, it's Hitoshi Ariga writing what he saw while he played Mega Man, just all the shit he imagined happening.
Yeah,
and now it's like an
so
official
fucking
story.
good.
It's very good. He's a good writer.
I wish he would make more.
Are you reading any mangas right now, Jeff? Anything good?
Dungeon Meshi.
Oh god, I love Dungeon Meshi.
Dungeon Meshi is so fucking good.
It's so good.
And people keep trying to get me to read Boku no Hero Academia.
Oh, I heard that one was good.
I hear it's really good, but I haven't really had time for it yet.
I'm so on it. The only thing I don't like about Dungeon Meshi is that it's monthly instead of weekly.
Yeah, God, it feels like forever.
It is all the better for it. It's such a great manga.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, that's how Western comics work, so I guess I'm used to it, but it's a shame. It'd be so cool to get it weekly.
Yeah.
What are you reading?
I shotgunned Yu-Gi-Oh! Recently.
Really?
Yeah, it was...
That's a lot to read.
Well, it was so fucking good that it just kind of flew by. It's actually it's much better than the anime.
That's what I hear. I hear the anime is super watered down comparatively.
There's a lot of filler. A lot of shit gets censored. Pegasus gets fucking murdered at the end of Duel Kingdom.
Yeah, there's no murder in the anime as far as I know.
Yeah, guy gets lit on fire in a restaurant. It's just a great manga, and you should read Yu-Gi-Oh!
Guy gets exploded with nitroglycerin in the first story.
Yeah, that's back when the Pharaoh spirit in him is just a straight up bad guy who's just like, oh, what's that?
He's just a murderous piece of shit.
You said something rude to me, time to blind you for life, or like, throw you into a pit of crocodiles. Like,
very well thought out, reasoned responses, measured responses.
There's a bit. Kaiba kidnaps his grandfather, which is the same as it happens in the anime, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he like mind crushes Kaiba, which is just like in the anime, it's just like Kaiba falls down and he kind of gets up the next day and dusts himself off. In the manga, Kaiba becomes a vegetable for like a year.
Oh my god!
And then he doesn't wake up until the middle of Battle City when he's like, oh my god, fuck that Yugi kid, I have to go beat him right now. And he flies straight over there.
You know, I can't really blame him that much.
So that's why he hates Yugi so much, is because he put him in a coma for like 6 months.
Don't fucking kidnap my grandpa. What are you doing?
That, I'd say, is a measured response. If you kidnap a family member and to put you in a coma for an indeterminate amount of time, that's okay. You know, that's fine.
Welcome to Learning About Liam, the newest podcast craze on the internet, where we learn that Liam is kind of a psychopath.
Liam would do things, inhuman things, if he was forced to.
Not even if he was forced to, just if he had the opportunity.
Just if the whim came along. Hey, Jeff.
Yes.
We missed a holiday recently.
What?
August 10th is now apparently officially Juo Bird Day, according to the actor who plays Juo Bird.
Oh, you mean Kaiza?
Kaiza. He wants to make a new Kaiza Day. Juo Bird Day.
You can't just have a day for every character you play.
He's trying. Apparently, if you pronounce the kanji that make up August 10th, the characters that make up August 10th, it sounds a little... There is a way to pronounce it that sounds like Bado. So he's like, yeah, this is fucking Juo Bird Day from here on.
People will do it. They love that guy.
Sure. I love him.
I'm not going to do it, but...
We talk about Kaiza Day all the time on here whenever it comes around.
Kaiza Day's coming up.
Get your presents. Get your tree.
Get ready to betray everyone you know.
Personally, for Kaiza Day, I try to stab a close friend of mine. Nothing life-threatening.
Stab him?
Yeah. Nothing life-threatening. Just a little stab in the ribcage.
Just stab him in the dick. Yeah, September 13th.
Yeah.
Is when Kaiza Days come out. Maybe we'll do, like, Paradise Lost or something on that day.
Oh, we already did Paradise Lost.
Do it again, fuck it.
I
mean, we'll do like a viewing. Did we do a viewing of Paradise Lost?
We never did a viewing. Maybe we'll do a viewing. We'll re-release the commentary with nothing changed. The remastered HD.
The commentary of the year edition.
With an additional 5 seconds of like sniffing and coughing that you missed from the first one.
Perfect.
A couple of yawns, if you're good.
Is there any more news?
Yes. We have our tickets bought, and we are going to MagFest in January.
Yes, so please be excited.
There's no Rider Club radio booth.
No, there will be no panel, no booth, no clothing to purchase, but you can, if you spot us, come and say hi.
There will be a panel for my side podcast, Learning About Liam, in which we'll do a Q&A about me. That is, I believe, day 2, 4 p.m. So don't miss that.
It is in the dumpster out behind the
Gaylord
Hotel. It will be Liam and special guest Rizzo the Rat from Muppets. So look forward to that.
Yeah, hopefully anyone who comes to MagFest, I don't know, maybe we'll have a party.
I don't know. Maybe we should, like, show people what we look like
We are going to round everyone up, and then we're going to enjoy the con together, and then we'll go to a bar.
All right.
Anyone we find.
Wait, I'm staying at a hotel, like, far away.
Yeah, I'm staying at the same hotel as you, probably, so.
Yeah, well, I guess we can fucking stumble back. It's like a 23-minute walk or something.
23. Bah!
Stumble across a bridge.
I've had longer.
12, 15 minutes straight.
I've had longer blackout drunk commutes than that.
Somehow I believe it, Liam. Somehow I believe it. I'm sure that if I bugged my friend Josh from my better podcast, M Class Podcast, now available on iTunes, then he'd just let me stay in his room. So I got an in there.
Is he staying at the real hotel?
Yes.
Oh, rich man.
He's got a panel.
Oh.
Continue has a panel there.
Lucky bastards.
Yeah, it's what happens when you're actually famous on the internet and not like us.
Yeah. Totally other world.
It's fucking dark side of the moon from here, man.
Do you want to talk about the best show, Jetman?
Yeah, let's talk about the most inconsistent television program, Jetman.
The greatest TV show of all time.
The episodes this week of Jetman, there was a good one and a not so good one.
Okay,
Liam, what did you think?
Which one are we going to talk about first? Are we going to talk about the noodles?
Let's talk about 9. That's not noodles. 9 was the mud race. Yeah, the mud race episode is actually a good episode.
I liked the mud race episode, and I liked the noodle episode ironically. That's how I'm feeling about these two.
Because you're a hipster.
Yeah.
You like shit ironically. I did enjoy the noodle monster and the fact that he has a happy face and an angry face.
Noodle god.
Fucking cup ramen commie.
But okay, so there's this episode about a mud race. Raita is in love with a childhood friend of his. She comes to visit.
Yeah.
They have to rescue her.
Satsuki,
Satsuki, I think.
Satsuki-chan? I don't remember.
He calls her Sat-chan. And she's like totally different. Completely different. And they face a sewing machine.
She shows up dressed like a fucking slut.
She dresses like
Raita doesn't like it.
Like a full-ass adult with a job that makes a lot of money and who knows about fancy restaurants.
Yeah, she does. And she doesn't know how to put makeup on correctly. Just cakes that shit on.
Just fuck it.
She's not dressed like a slut.
And
she's dressed like a very high-class hooker.
It's called an escort.
Yes.
There's a Monstar this week that throws clothes on you and you act like whatever the clothes are. Which is thematic because she's trying to hide herself under her clothes. And at the end, she gets turned into a cyber sniper, and Raita brings her back by jumping through some mud.
Well, because when they were a kid, she promised to marry him if he won the mud race, which is apparently a thing that happens. Episode... he forces himself through and defeats children who are in much better shape than him. And so they're in love forever, and the only way he can snap her out of her cyber sniper self is by hopping and bopping through the mud.
This episode I liked it a lot because it had themes. There was theming, like I said, with the clothes and the
there was heart to this episode.
Foreshadowing, callbacks, the mud race.
Yeah.
This was a really well put together episode. Really.
There's a lot of heart in this episode. I love the moment at the end where she says, "Tell Yellow Owl that I like him," and he's like, "Yeah, I will. Bye-bye, see you later," and she says, "Bye-bye, Yellow Owl."
She knows. She just wanted to tell him in a very roundabout way that she liked him.
It was adorable.
It was very good.
And I love how everybody makes fun of Raita for being in love with her.
The best line in the whole show so far is Raita's on a date, and they're fighting the sewing monster. And they're like, "God, we gotta call Raita." And Guy's like, No. A guy like Raita will go on exactly 3 dates in his entire life. Do not fuck this up for him. And they turn to the girls, and both of the girls are like, "Yeah, we shouldn't. Let's just fight without him." Everybody just agrees. They're like, "Don't."
Ryu is the only one that believes in this man. Everybody else has faced reality.
Don't cock block Raita. He doesn't get a lot of opportunities.
It's probably true. He's not only is he not a looker and he's really awkward, but he's also kind of a dick. He just gets angry all the time and yells.
Mm-hmm. He speaks his mind a little too often.
Yeah, he's I read a little bit about this. He's a stereotype of a country boy.
Yeah.
Somebody who works out on a farm and is really rough around the edges and says and does what he feels. There's a whole thing in Japanese society about politeness and proper etiquette, and the country boy doesn't follow that.
Yeah, he has no tact.
I like Raita.
Ride is good. Like, all the characters in I almost called it Juoger. All the characters in Jetman are very human. And Raida is a very human character. Ordinarily, I'd say, like, usually when it's, like, mind control, and then someone's like, hey, snap out of it, and they just say it enough and they snap out of it, I usually am like, oh, fuck you, bullshit. But
yeah, I hated that with the diamonds in a previous episode.
But this episode has, like, an actual foreshadowing, like, a good reason, and it's dramatic, and I liked it, so fuck it, I'll let it fly. They did it well.
It's a really good episode. I liked it a lot. It's one of my favorites so far.
Yeah.
Then there's an episode about a giant cup ramen.
Dude,
and a guy who loves cup ramen.
Not like this episode about the cup ramen?
I don't hate it or anything. I just don't think it's a good episode.
I guess,
and I'm just noticing a theme, right? Where there's one really good episode, then one not so good episode.
Like, coming off of an episode like the episode about the sewing machine monster, which is very real and very, like, genuine and very, like you said, the episode...
coming off of the episode with the sewing machine monster, which was very real.
Very believable. No, really, it had a lot of heart.
Yeah, it did.
This thing about mind control ramen that doesn't really have as much heart and is
it's
mostly
just really
about,
goofy,
it's
right?
Totally goofy.
And it's like, the plot line, nothing really gets resolved or moved forward, and the characters don't grow any, and... Like, at the beginning of the episode, like, she doesn't want to date the weird nerd because he's too into ramen. At the end of the episode, she doesn't want to date the weird nerd because he's too into ramen.
Yeah, but he learns not to trust a guy in a rubber suit if he tells you he's the fucking god of ramen.
He'd still do it.
He'd still do it.
If another cup ramen showed up, he'd believe it was cup ramen god.
Anything that can get him a promise of a date with Akko, he'll be like, yeah, fuck it. If a guy showed up to his house in
Akko-chan.
If a guy showed up to his house in a Gamera costume, he'd probably be like, yeah, okay, let's do it.
Look, before you even go into your spiel, will it get me a date with this girl?
Someone shows up to his house to sell him some knives or something. He's like, hang on. Will it get me a date with this girl, like a photograph?
He does have a photograph of her. He references it several times.
He has, like, a framed photo of her.
He's really creepy. He's a creeper.
He's so cool, and he loves
And this
ramen.
is a thing? Like, being obsessed with cup ramen and, like, rare cup ramen and shit is a thing?
Is it, like, a real thing? Did you look this up?
I don't know.
It
seems like it's a real thing, because he just talks about it like it's a regular thing.
I imagine it's like stamp collecting, kind of.
Yeah.
You get the tops of ramen cups, or like having a bottle of Coke that was only around for a month and then discontinued or something. Like,
do you like a cup ramen, or do you like a package ramen?
I will take my ramen anyway.
I like them both, but I do prefer a package ramen.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cup's a little more convenient, but fucking
it is more
ramen.
Convenient. But package ramen is tastier, I think.
If you're eating instant ramen, you've already lost. Just take it as it is.
It's the story of my life.
It's instant ramen that when you eat it, makes you unable to wait more than 1 minute for anything.
That's the plot line of this very good episode that Liam loves. This episode was better, at least, than the Diamonds episode.
Yeah.
The Diamonds episode was annoying.
This episode was wall-to-wall hilarious.
It was funny. My favorite fucking part of the episode is all the attacks that Ramen Dimension has.
Oh yeah, he throws his like fucking Naruto Maki circle at him,
and he fucking like fires shrimp out of his cup.
Yeah,
and he needs hot water.
He needs hot water to function. I got a real kick out of that.
I did too.
There's like a hero scene.
This episode isn't as low as I make it out to be. It's a fun episode. It's just not a great episode.
There's a hero scene when he's beating up Akko, the Blue Ranger, and he's like, shit, oh, I'm out of hot water. And he's trying to put it in, and the cup ramen nerd sees the error of his ways, and he's like jumping to like intercept it in midair, and it's like this big slow motion thing. It's very funny.
And then he just keeps spilling hot water all over himself when he's running away.
He's running away from it and it's spilling, and he's like, oh god, it's so hot, Jesus!
It's scalding hot! Oh man, it's pretty good. It is pretty good, but
It's like
I just watching it, I was like, man, this is really awkward compared to the last episode.
It's like they came off of the last episode and were like, okay, we made a really good one, and now we have carte blanche and just do something really dumb for this one about a cup ramen.
Do something silly.
That face, the face of the cup ramen monster, is going to haunt my dreams.
Oh, the one that opens when it opens its mouth.
Well, and all of them, really. His happy face, and then the way it turns into a mad face when he reveals how mad he is. I love that.
I love that, too. And I also love the fact that if anyone has seen... God, what is the name of that movie that they watched on Best of the Worst?
Which
movie? That was like the fish fucking movie. Oh. Where, like, a woman's vagina has a mouth on it, and it's the same mouth from Ramen Dimension. It's the same exact mouth.
I wonder if it's the same prop.
It's gotta be.
Real talk, I would pay big money to see a Best of the Worst of Shin Kamen Rider. I think that would do great on that show.
I could only imagine how fucking confused they would be watching that movie. And you know up front they'd be like, yeah, we looked up some stuff about this and it's like Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And then they'd watch Shin Kamen Rider.
Oh boy.
Oh my god. What were we talking about? Oh.
Ramen noodles. Vagina teeth.
Yeah. Vagina dentata, they call it.
That's the term, yes. It means no worries.
Jetman is a really wildly inconsistent series thus far.
It's with its tone, it's a little inconsistent, yeah.
Yeah. And there's definitely a difference in quality. I'm not saying it's like worlds different where like one episode is garbage and the next is like perfection, but it does go like good, not good, or good, not so good, good, not so good. Which I've never seen in a show before where it actually just flip-flops.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say this, though. I've got the Ako-chan ramen tune stuck in my head still.
Yeah, true. I still have Durango Doug stuck in my head. But...
Fuck Doug.
You hate that guy.
I really don't like Doug.
Jesus. How did you feel about Hey Arnold?
I'm neutral on Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold was like if Doug was like a normal kid and not like a fucking giant bitch.
People say it's great. I haven't watched it in well over a decade, so I can't confirm. I don't remember much about it.
It was a good show. Yeah. I liked Freakazoid best.
I liked Freakazoid. Freakazoid was funny.
That's not a Nickelodeon show, I'm aware.
I know. Everyone. Just we're talking about kids shows, okay? Fuck off.
Talking about kids shows when we were kids. That's what this podcast is about. Fucking learn.
Jeff, would you like to pop open that mailbag?
You know, I guess I could if I have to.
Give me some sweet mail, make it rain with envelopes.
This week we have 2 fucking emails, so fuck all of you for not writing in.
Where did you all go?
There's only so many questions you can ask. I'm aware that like people are kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point.
I'm genuinely astonished. We're like well into 100 and there are still questions asked every week.
Yeah.
I'm crazy about it.
Like 99.999% of them are about Kamen Rider too, is what's blowing my mind. I keep saying that people can ask whatever they want, and it's still all Kamen Rider. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I really appreciate that they stay on theme.
I'm impressed. Our first email is from Alonzo, who says, hey guys, I haven't sent an email in a bit, and have been sitting on this question for a while since I kept forgetting. Anyway, the new Mario game, Mario plus Rabbids, has a character who creates monsters when he's stressed out. The monster is a fusion of a rabbid with Mario enemies, like a Pyramid plant or a Rabid Kong. This game sounds fucking amazing.
It looks kind of cool.
What if in the Ex-Aid build film they have a Bugster victim who creates monsters instead of dying, building fusions of Smash and Bugsters? Oh. And he capitalized building, so he fucking means it. That's a great idea, actually. That'd be a cool way to bridge the gap, which they don't tend to do in crossover movies.
Yeah, it's usually just like thinking back on the Gaim one, it's like he's fighting an alien that comes from space, and that's just it. It's just an alien and drives there, and they're like, fuck it, let's fight this alien. It'd be cool if it was more of like a A combo monster, I'd like that.
I mean, I think they may have done something like that before. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But I feel like it's more thematically appropriate to bring two riders together by having them face an enemy that's common between them.
Yeah.
A common rider enemy?
Shut the fuck up.
You're the one who called it fucking leave a comment.
I thought everyone forgot about that.
No, I brought it back.
Thank you.
Now everybody knows you're an idiot again.
That's fine.
No, but that's a great idea. I'd be all aboard.
Yeah, I get a kick at that.
Also, a second question. Do you guys find it dumb that Namco didn't do more video games to advertise Ex-Aid? All we got were 2 3DS games and a PlayStation VR short movie clip. It would have been nice to see more Gashat games being made after Mighty Action X as budget titles that get quickly released on the Nintendo eShop or something. Like seeing Tattle Quest as a Dragon Quest clone or Perfect Puzzle as a Puyo Puyo clone. Anyway, keep up the great work. Loving this podcast. P.S. Muteki is the best because they shoved a Mario star onto Ex-Aid and told him to wear it.
Muteki's you just said why it's the worst.
But it's the best.
I'll tell you what I'm disappointed with about Bandai Namco is not doing anything with Kamen Rider in terms of video games except making the cheapest, fastest shit that they can possibly put out.
It's like, it wouldn't even be that difficult to make a Kamen Rider game that was fun and cool.
No, and they've almost done it. They've come like 90%. Like, Betrayed War Genesis is like 80% of a good game, but it's just a little too brain dead, and it's just a little too like loose with its controls, and it's just...
Here's the thing, right? What? After they sell the game, it doesn't matter. They got your money. Fuck you. That's
the all Toei and Bandai and all them. That's their motto. Fucking what was it called? Super Climax Heroes. Almost a good fighting game, just not quite complex enough to be really fun. Like, you can't really sink your teeth into it. Yeah, it's very bland.
That's the thing with all Kamen Rider games in the modern day. I mean, like, some of the older games are a little different, like the beat 'em up on Super Nintendo or like the Chibi game on NES and stuff like that. But modern Rider games are paper fucking thin. All it is surface level. There's no mechanics beneath.
And you know why? It's because they're always compelled to put every rider, at least every Heisei rider. You don't have to do that. Just make a good game just about Ex-Aid or just about Build. It's fine.
Yeah.
No one will hold you against it. Like, you can do that.
If you put every rider into a game, you cannot make that game have any sort of mechanics to it beyond the basics. Because if you do, the game's going to take like fucking 15 years to make.
Yeah, all the riders have to play very similarly. Or else, it's like you said, it's going to have so much dev time. Like, if I were God, I would make a game that was like, just pick out like 4 or 5 playable riders from just all like the new guy, and then like pick out 4 main riders from whatever and be like, okay, it's just these guys. Just these 4.
I'd just do the newest show.
Or just do that. In a more realistic world, just fucking do the newest show.
Or just pick, like, in my perfect world, they would do like 1 for each show, right? So they would go back and make like a Kuga game, and they would like focus in on what would make a really great Kuga game.
Oh yeah, it could have like investigations, be a little slower paced, yeah.
And then like next year they'll do like an Agito game, so there'll always be new Rider series coming out, and they're moving one series ahead as it goes.
Oh my! If they actually did that, if they were just like, from now we're gonna start from the beginning of Heisei and just make a game every year that's like a different genre that fits that show. I would be ecstatic about that. I would be terribly excited about that.
That would be really awesome. And I mean, you could work on these concurrently with different teams.
Yeah.
Right? So, you'd have the dev time that you need. You just have to, like, front load it, right?
Yeah. You'd have to start early.
Yeah, but, they're never going to do that.
No,
it's all going to be fucking Rider Betrayed fucking whatever.
Here's
endless.
A phone game.
Yeah.
Asshole. When Ex-Aid was coming out and they said there was going to be a Mighty Action X, I was under the impression that there was also going to be at least a Tattle Quest.
Yeah,
or maybe a Bang Bang shooting.
None of that shit.
Oh, I would have loved that. Come on, just a little like 30-minute RPG or like a light gun game or Perfect Puzzle is like So easy to make just like a fucking make a Mean Bean Machine clone and call it a day.
Poyo.
Whatever.
Mean Bean Machine.
Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
That's where gaming really hit its stride, I think. We've never really reached that same apex level.
Yeah, that's the peak.
Can you guess who our next email's from?
Jake the Snake.
Yes!
I was really hoping... I was thinking for a minute that you were trying to trick me.
No.
And then it'd be something else.
It's gotta be Jake,
Gotta
baby.
be Jake.
Hey, RCR. For a few seconds, I thought Nico was going to be able to transform to Cronus, being the qualified ride player, but then I remember that this is still a Toei show. Can't have a female rider stealing the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this man makes a good point. It was nice that they gave Taiga an upgrade on par with Hyper Muteki and Tattle Quest in the form of Cronus, even if it didn't last that long. So all this time, Cronus had access to the other Gashikon weapons. Wish they could have shown that since Cronus first debuted in the series. You know, he didn't need them. He just pressed pause all the time and hit people.
Yeah, they would have been a crutch.
I like that, though. Now that I think back on it, like, it obviously was not a conscious decision at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They hadn't even thought about giving him all the weapons at that point. But I like that everybody has weapons that they try to fight him with, but he just fucking kicks them.
Yeah.
I like a melee fighter a lot.
Yeah, who needs weapons when you can freeze time?
Questions. Who wore their suit recolor better, Gamedeus Cronus or Gold Drive?
Oh.
They both look not great.
I'm going to say Gamedeus Cronus.
I think I'm going to have to give it to Gold Drive.
Really?
Yeah, I think Gamedeus Cronus looks like shit. Like,
whoa.
Genuinely.
I don't like gold-colored anything, really. It's too gaudy for me.
I love gold-colored stuff.
Oh, there's where we differ.
Yeah, there's the difference. Like, if I was going to be a special ranger, like a 6th ranger, I'd want to be the gold.
Oh, that's... gold.
Like, if you were going to be a 6th ranger, what would it be?
Just a normal color that they don't have, like green or cyan or whatever.
Sometimes black, sometimes green.
Just whatever color they don't got. I'll take that.
You wouldn't want to be like silver?
No, fuck that. That's too shiny.
Man, you're an idiot.
No.
Gold and silver are the most powerfulest.
Gold and silver can suck me.
I mean, maybe they'd want to. I don't fucking know them.
How many Rangers does Q Ranger have? I haven't been keeping up. Do they have like 16 now?
I don't know.
There's so many Q Rangers running around.
They had 9 last time I checked.
They had 9 last time we watched, but now there's another one and another one, and there's an evil Hibitsu Kai Silver I saw.
I think there's 12.
12? That's more than 9. The fucking dragon became one as well. And there's
I genuinely don't know. We haven't watched that in so long.
There's the new red guy with the sword and shield. How many are there?
I like that he has a sword and shield, though. That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool.
That's my favorite RPG setup, is sword and shield.
The old sword and board.
It's my favorite.
Nothing wrong with it.
Question 2. Chapter 1 of the Futo Detectives manga was translated recently. Any chance you guys have read it already? And if so, what did you think of it? Liam has read it.
Yeah, already covered it. I liked it. I liked the mystery. He covered it
and he liked it.
I like how much they build towards the reveal of Philip, because they know that you're waiting for him.
They build...
Shut up.
Towards it?
They wait a really long time to show you Philip, and they like hint at him a million times, and at the very end he's like, boop, I'm here.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's good.
Boop, I'm here.
That's literally the line. That's how they translate it. Boop, I'm here.
Damn, I didn't know TV Nihon was doing a translation on this. Thanks, and looking forward to the next episode as always, Jake the Snake. I feel like Jake is more consistent with his emails than we are with this program in general.
He's more on topic.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no doubt. So I appreciate all 2 of you who wrote in. I hate the rest of you.
Jeff, a tad bitter this week over the number of emails.
Nah, I'm fine with it. Whatever. As long as we have a couple, I'm cool.
Yeah.
If you'd like your email read on the air and you would like to not be a bad listener of this podcast, you can write in to writerclubradio@gmail.com.
I mean, that is if you're a real fan.
Yeah.
You might want to do that.
Well, you just made everybody not right. I hope you're happy.
If you want to be a real hot dog, you can follow us on Twitter at Rider Club Radio.
A hot dog?
A real hot dog. A real cool dude. You know what I'm saying? Jelly band.
You might be the least cool person
No.
I've ever met in my life.
No.
And I own a mirror. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Bye.